looking out my kitchen window this morning. And I'm looking and I'm thinking about a phrase that people say often, and I'm sure you heard it too. I'm working on my bucket list. You hear it. People say, I want to travel to Paris. I want to parachute out of an airplane, go on a cruise, learn a new language, buy a convertible sports car, and make sure it's red. They cross things off their bucket list, and while there is nothing wrong with that, I get it, and I have to be honest with you. The phrase doesn't quite fit right with me because, I'm visual. And when someone says a bucket list, my mind immediately creates an image. Not a beautiful image, not an inspiring image. A rusty old bucket. You know, the kind sitting outside behind the garage, dented, withered. It was red at one time, but the paint is chipped away. And some dust or dirt is inside of it. Maybe it's cracked on the side because it's been carrying everyone's stuff for a long time. It's been holding burdens, holding responsibilities, holding things that belong to everyone and you. And I thought to myself, I don't want anything holding something that I'm working on. That sounds a lot like women in our lives, how we hold and carry so much. We carried jobs, we carried responsibilities that wasn't ours, we carried community work, issues, concerns that meant so much to us. We carry those things. And sometimes we even carry somebody else's dreams. And now somebody is telling me to get a bucket, add something to that list to carry. No, no, thank you. I don't want to carry any buckets around and fill it with things. I have spent long days and nights carrying buckets. What I want is something different. And I'm sure you do too. And I'm thinking that I would call it a bliss list. What about that? You might have heard that too. But I want a bliss list. That sounds better. Just saying the words make me smile because bliss isn't about checking something off. Bliss is about becoming someone. Okay? If we look up the word bliss, it means happiness, great joy, a state of being content, and a sense of well-being. Now think about that. How many of us have spent years pursuing achievement while neglecting happiness? We mastered responsibility, we mastered sacrifice, but have we mastered bliss? Mm. Have we learned what truly brings us joy, our heart, that makes our heart sing? Now that's what I am talking about. Not what looks impressive on social media. Okay, come on. We letting all that go. Not what looks like society says that matters, but what generally brings you peace, delightment, fulfillment, and joy. That's the bliss list I'm talking about. A bliss list isn't about dying before you get to do any of that. A bliss list is about living fully while you are still here daily. Okay? Maybe what I like about it, because it doesn't sound like a bucket that's something heavy to carry. A bucket is almost like I'm filling it to race against the end of my time. But a blissless sound like you're embracing the now. So as I think about it, let's get to it. Be in the word bliss can mean be present. How often have we physically been one place, but mentally or emotionally been somewhere else? We're thinking about tomorrow, even we're thinking about yesterday. But the be in bliss lets us begin with being present. Simple things like sitting on the porch, drinking your tea, watching the sunrise, listening to the birds chirping, walking without taking your phone, spending uninterrupted time with your grandchildren, which I love so much, not rushing, not multitasking. We know you can do it, because I do it. But no, simply just being. That's what the B is for. Now what about the L? Love yourself well. Now for some women, this may be the hardest. We spend years loving everyone else, but have you learned how to love you? What would happen if you treated yourself with the same kindness that we give others? Your L means taking yourself to the movies, taking yourself out to lunch, buying you flowers, saying no without guilt, and getting rest and celebrating your accomplishments. Because loving yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. Okay? That's what the L meant. And here's the I. Invest in what brings you joy. Notice I didn't say invest in what makes you money. I said invest in what brings you joy. Maybe it's painting, gardening, traveling, writing, dancing, learning something new, starting that business you dreamed about, and starting it small. Remember, we do not shun small beginnings. We be patient with ourselves, and we give ourselves grace. Joy is not a luxury. It is the fuel and the energy. Okay? And here's the S. Savor the small things. One of the greatest lessons of aging is being able to reflect and discovering that happiness often hides in ordinary moments. Snuggling under a warm blanket, oh, that's one of my favorites. A good conversation, a handwritten note, the smell and the joy of rain, a person's laughter, a quiet evening. Life is not only found in big moments, okay? Life is hidden inside of thousands of small moments. Let's not miss them. And the other S is shine as yourself. Stop shrinking. Stop apologizing for who you are. Stop hiding your gifts, your talents. And stop waiting for permission. Your bliss list should include things that help you become more of yourself, not less. Write that book. Start that podcast. Take that trip. Wear colorful clothing. Speak up and laugh loudly. Be present in your own life because the world doesn't need another copy. Okay? I want you to hear that. The world does not need another copy. It needs the original you. You know what I discovered? The most powerful thing about a bliss list is that eventually it stops just being a list. It becomes a lifestyle. It changes from something you do into someone you are and have become. You become more present, more joyful, more intentional, more grateful, more alive. You stop waiting for a special occasion to enjoy your life. You start creating moments with joy every single day. And here's the beautiful part: you don't need a lot of money, you don't need perfect health, and you do not need to figure it all out. Okay? You simply need permission. And you need the permission from yourself. Permission to make yourself a priority. Permission to create moments of joy. Permission to pursue what nourishes your soul. And permission to stop carrying those buckets and start creating bliss. So today, while we're looking out our kitchen window, I want you to ask yourself a question. What belongs on your bliss list? Not what impresses others, not what others think is important, not what sounds important, and not what everybody else is doing, because you're unique. What genuinely brings life to you? Write 10 things down, then schedule one each week. This is your life. Not next year, not someday, this week. Because bliss isn't waiting for you somewhere in the future. It is created in the choices you make today. And perhaps the greatest discovery of all of this is you're not searching for bliss. You are the source of it. And until next time, keep looking out the window and keep looking within. And you might discover that your happiest season isn't behind you. It may be the one that you're creating right now. Just me and you looking out our kitchen window.